Welcome back to Packs and Picks, and welcome to the first sealed deck build on the channel. Before the video, I took some time to sort through the packs we opened, collect my thoughts on the pool, and build a deck. So let's check it out. First thing, let's look at the rares that we got. So we got Ren and Railbreaker, Teysa, Fairy Mastermind, Omnath, Heliod, Nahiri's Warcrafting, and then we did get one more rare that's actually in the deck I built. But as a reminder, here were the rares that we opened. And I'll speak to why some of these I ended up not putting in the deck as we go through the video. But just as a reminder, those were our rares. So here's the deck that I ended up building. I'll just kind of lay it out by curve. I ended up going with a predominantly green-white deck with a very small black splash. And as I was building the deck, I noticed, or as I was looking at the card pool, I noticed that there's a decent synergy between white and green as far as +1/+1 counters go in this set. So that's the direction I took this deck. I'll kind of point out some notable cards here. So this one here, Progenitor Exarch, that's the other rare from our deck. So when it enters the battlefield, incubate 3 times. So incubate's getting a lot of +1/+1 counters on it. Also has some synergies with Phyrexians as well. But a couple of the cards that I really liked, Kami of Whispered Hopes. So if one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a permanent you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on that permanent instead. So good synergy there. Also, Renata Call to Hunt. So each other creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Really like that. And then the back side of Invasion of Moag is the Bloomwielder Dryads, and at the beginning of your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So between those 4 cards, some of the incidental incubate that's floating around amongst cards, I just saw a good synergy for +1/+1 counters that I wanted to pursue. And then as far as the black splash goes, just some good removal spells that obviously often come in black. So Collective Nightmare, Deadly Derision, and then also we have this Elvish Vat Keeper here who also does incubate and doubles +1/+1 counters on incubator tokens. So that's the deck that I ultimately went with. And I think one of the big questions then is, why no Ren? So as I was building the deck, I really wanted to put Ren in, but I just didn't see a big synergy with the +1/+1 counters theme. It definitely seems like Ren helps with flooding out, especially in limited. You turn your lands into attackers. Maybe I'll regret not putting it in the deck, but it's in the sideboard that I could swap in if I need to. But that's why Ren didn't make it in the deck. And then as far as the rest of the pool goes, I did struggle with deciding if I wanted to do black-white, because there was a lot of Phyrexian synergies with white and black. And I do think you could still do a white-black deck with this pool of cards. Gift to Completion here. When a Phyrexian you control dies, surveil 1. So between that, I got 2 Etched Familiars in the pool, so these are a decent common, I think, for the Phyrexian build. And then also in white-black, Teysa has a good synergy with creature tokens, so all those incubators that flip over into Phyrexians, Teysa is going to have a lot of good synergy with. So definitely I think there's an argument to making a black-white build out of this pool of cards. And then as far as the other colors go, blue was not very deep at all. There's definitely an obvious Knight sub-theme happening here with Protocol Knight, Xeric Strobe Knight, Order of the Mirror. I am really intrigued by Saiba Cryptomancer, this 0/1 flash, backup 1, and hexproof. It's kind of a fun combat trick on a creature, so I do want to keep my eyes on this and see how it plays in the format. A couple of Stasis Fields, but really to me blue just seemed a little shallow. And then similarly with red, we had some good cards at the top end. Shatter the Source, I like Furnace Toast Charger, Stoke the Flames, classic, good spell. And I'm really intrigued by Kenris Spellspear, 2-mana 2/2 with on the back, on the flip side, you got 2 instances of prowess. So I'm really interested to look at this card and keep this in mind as the format goes on and play around with this. But otherwise, red just wasn't really exciting me too much. And then as far as the multicolored cards, we did have Agar the Freezing Flame. Not a lot of synergies in the pool with Giants and Wizards, so this one didn't really pan out too much. And then Stormclaw Rager. This is one that I really want to keep my eyes on because it seems like with all the incubator tokens floating around, there's definitely an opportunity to really leverage this card a lot in the format going forward. So this is one I'm going to keep my eye on as we move forward. So that's really the deck build right there and my thoughts on the card pool. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what direction you would have taken this pool of cards. You know, do you find a home for Wrenn? Do you take the Omnath challenge and try to make a multicolor deck? Ultimately, stay tuned because we're going to be opening more packs, building more sealed decks, and eventually playing them against each other. So see you next time.